Oh, hello. Okay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Geeky Ones. So I'm Jude. Below on the screen is Steven, and today we have a guest, Giro Pineda, also known as Nomad, a shoutcaster in Valorant, also shoutcasted in CSGO and Mobile Legends. So hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been a while since I guessed in something, so I'm kind of nervous, but we'll get through it.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll be having a good time. So yeah, tonight we'll be in this little evening episode. We'll be talking about Nomad, the shoutcaster, like like the beginnings, like your journey into shoutcasting, like how you know, and second half we'll be talking about some VCT stuff, Masters Berlin, but yeah, VCT Masters Berlin, also the PH Valorant, and yeah, that's it. That's what the episode is all about, and it's gonna be like an all. It's gonna be all fun, all interesting content. But before we start, we like to have a little tribute spot to a famed shoutcaster in Duno, and I know I think Giro, you said Dune is a good friend of yours, and he was part of like a very iconic casting moment,
Yeah,
and very well known for that. But of course, I think it's of course more than that. Of course, being a friend, being being a member of your community as well.
yeah. Sad day for Philippine esports. He will definitely be missed. That's something that I know a lot of people in our community. Despite the differences from a lot of the people, despite of the opinions, everybody
Hmm.
knows he's gonna be missed. He's gonna be missed a lot, man.
Yeah, awesome, and yeah, may he be remembered well, and lakad matatag.
Normalin.
Normalin.
Uh,
I still can't believe that Filipino is heavily used in Dota chat wheels. That was
yeah.
and we have him to thank a good part of that. And now we start with let's go. Let's proceed to the episode and let's go. Now our first few questions are well, very very simple ones. I think we asked a few of our guests who have played games. So, first question is, before you started into shoutcasting, of course, I guess you were interested in video games.
Of course.
What was like the first video game that um, you remember playing, or like the first one you remember that got you hooked into playing video games?
Oh, that's a doozy. The first ever video game I ever played as a kid was actually Wolfenstein 3D on our old
Oh,
Windows
awesome!
95. Yeah, Windows 95 was a thing, kids. It was really old. Like you had to install it on multiple floppy disks for you to be able to play Wolfenstein 3D, and there's that. So that's my entry into FPS, I'd say. And then during that time, it was also Super Mario on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And then the fondest memory of me playing video games was Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation.
Ooh, really cool.
Though that's a series that really I stuck with all throughout their reiterations.
Well,
Uh,
worth the journey from start to end, of course.
mhm.
I really
uh,
enjoyed that.
I don't consider the Phantom Pain finished. I'm just gonna say that out loud. Kojima, please just finish that game. Just finish that game.
I really wish they do a hard redo of that
Yeah.
because yeah, I understand. Like as someone who played, who went through like the entire Metal Gear Solid journey and ended up with Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, I love the game to death. I played that for months on end when it came out. But yeah, wish we get a I wish we get a good ending for that. Now, a little follow up on this question. Since those were your first video games, now what is the first video game, multiplayer video game, the one with the competitive mode that you grinded or you started? Yeah, you played competitively.
Uh, that's definitely League of Legends. I started playing League of
Okay.
Legends. I started playing League of Legends in season 2. That was 2012. That was when I was still in FEU, my second college.
Mhm.
I'm not a good student. All right, I go to War Gods during lunch breaks and never come back to classes. Don't do that. Don't do that. But um, I have a very love. I have a love hate relationship with League of Legends because that's where I play. I know I suck at League of Legends, but I still come back. It still pulls me back. Like even if I haven't played for like a year, friends would be like, "Hey, you want to play a league? Sure. Ah, fine. All right, sure. I'll go ahead and reinstall it." And that's definitely the real first competitive game I've ever played. I don't count Counter-Strike yet because when I was
Mhm.
playing Counter-Strike, it was all just friends just going all over Dust 2 and just trying to, just trying to have fun. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Nothing on the line. No, wala yung mga pustahan na people go for. Nobody really bets. But League of Legends, I even tried competing in League of Legends, but we because I'm a
But,
silver pro.
but I can say that yeah, League of Legends is a very loaded game. Like, wait, it has been 10 years, right? I recall correctly, 10 years now.
Mm,
So like, wow, it's been it's been around for a while. So crazy to see that, yeah, it's still a really fun, it's a really interesting game to play.
yeah.
I've dabbled in MOBAs, especially League. So
In
I
in
understand.
other words, we're old.
No,
Yeah.
not well.
Gurang na tayo.
Hey now, old is a social construct. It is but
Yeah.
man-made. Right? We're not old. We're not old. We're
No,
just
speaking of
experienced.
speaking of like old school tech with the, as you did mention floppy disks earlier. I remember seeing this clip from Instagram about these kids playing in the Little League World Series. It's like this baseball tournament in the States. They don't know what a floppy disk is. Yung talagang, dyan talaga yung reminder na parang, damn,
Mm.
these
What
kids
you're
are so
talking about,
lucky.
Steven? That's not a floppy disk. That's a save icon.
What is this? Oh, is this a save icon? Man, you guys remember the flip phones? No, that was like the
Yeah,
big
man.
the big deal. The Motorola Razor.
Good lord.
Everybody wanted to have the Motorola Razor back then.
Yes, man.
Oh
That was
yeah.
an epic phone. It was like the first really flat phone, and now all the phones are flat now.
Yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
Well,
It's
every
crazy how
every
times have
phone
changed.
looks pretty similar to each other, so that's one
Almost.
thing.
Yeah.
Although I miss the colorful Nokia covers because that's where,
Yeah, that was
and the
fucking
custom backlights, which is which is
Oh yeah,
insane to
yeah.
think about.
custom ringtones and all.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh,
Insane to think about, especially with what we have now, which is
Yeah.
essentially a mini PC on our hands. So that's what it is.
stronger
I
Hmm.
than
mean,
our first spaceship that was ever sent to the moon, to the
yeah,
space.
yeah, I think it can power up a few lunar landers, if we can say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now we go to the next round of questions. Now, I would like to ask, how did you get into esports, and do you remember the first event that you have seen as a fan before you got into shoutcasting?
Oh man, ESO1 Katowice. That was
Ooh.
the first actual that's the first actual esports that I actually tuned into because yeah, I played League of Legends in 2012. Yes, I watched Worlds, but I wasn't really as invested to that
Mhm.
as CS:GO's esports because I remember the rise and fall of iBuyPower. I remember
Oh,
craziness of Olaf's boost. I even remember NIP's storied 87-0 run when they first transitioned into Counter Strike Global Offensive, and that's it. And when ES1 Katowice came out, that was really the first tournament I watched from start, from groups until the championship. It was a roller coaster, and I'm like, this is fun to watch. I want to keep watching this, and it just went moving from there.
That's awesome. So yeah, well, can't deny CS:GO. CS:GO esports has been around for a while, then. So like
Mm.
it's been strong for years, and it's always an intense watch. Like whenever I see CS:GO highlights, it's insane.
Yeah, and I consider CS:GO as the best spectator esports out there because
Yeah,
you understand everything. You have a gun, you just shoot your enemy, and that's it. You don't need
yeah,
to. Oh, items here. Yeah, they're buying their items. Oh, agent skills over here. Oops, let's not go there again. But yeah, agent skills. How do you use them? What works? But I just that's one of the main reasons why I really enjoyed watching CS:GO. I mean, I watched a couple of Brood War tournaments back in the day, like I downloaded replays and stuff, but it's it's not the same as CS:GO. It's not the same excitement as I get from CS:GO.
no, to be fair, yeah, you're right about the how simple it is. Like you have people with people, but just buy guns, shoot each other, and then the objective is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's either you plant or you just erase everyone in the map. So that's actually insane. Now, so I would like so since that was like the moment that got you like hooked into esports. So was that also the moment that inspired you to get into shoutcasting?
Oh no, not really. But getting into shoutcasting was I'd say it was a match made in heaven because I never really expected myself to be a shoutcaster because I came into the esports industry when it was in 2016. I was fresh out of BPO work. I have my best friend, a longtime friend. Shout outs to Carl if you're watching.
Mhm.
He was already working in Mineski event scene during that time, and he was like, "Hey, we have an opening here for an article writer for CS:GO. I know you want to get out of the
Ooh.
BPO company, so bad. So why don't you go ahead and try it out?" So I tried it out. I get hired, and first couple of months of just writing articles, doing interviews, and one of during that time, Mineski was running the Mineski Pro Gaming League. It was the eighth season of the MPGL, and our editor in chief was like, maybe we should have an analyst in the panel, in the shoutcasting. Okay, that sounds nice. All right, all right, Jiro, since you're doing CS:GO work, you're going to be the CS:GO analyst. Kibu, Mello, since you're doing League of Legends work, you're going to be a League of Legends analyst, and I'll be the Dota analyst. Blah blah. That's what my editor in chief said. 9001, Juno Reyes, man. Um,
Mhm.
and then from there, I got partnered up with Asarai and Riku during my just first analysis, really. And then it was Vil, and then there were old CS:GO pros that were there as well that were guest casters, so to speak.
Mhm.
Baron was also there, and just started, and then that just started steamrolling until I fully got comfortable with shoutcasting in general. It even came to a point where my editor in chief, I went straight to the studio. I was supposed to do a pub that the Mineski MPGL season 8 leg 2 of CS:GO is now live. I was supposed to do that pub, forgot to do it because I was on the casting desk. Editor in chief came, busted through the door midstream. What the fuck are you doing here?
Oh no.
You're supposed to be publishing it. Where's it at? I'm like, oh shit. And then there's that, and then just came and just went from there. I still worked as an employee for Mineski Events team for Mineski.net specifically, and it just shoutcasting is on the side like every weekend since that's esports weekday basically. That's esports 3 days. That's the event days. I cast on the weekends. I cover the tournaments on the weekends, and then I go back to my regular day job in Mineski during the weekdays. That's basically it. So that's how I got my start.
Awesome. God. Well, that's actually cool. Well, from writing to actually being an analyst for a game that you followed for a while, for years, for a while. Yeah,
For a
I
while.
mean CS has been Counter Strike has been gamers' radar for like 2 decades.
Two
It's been,
decades. Oh
oh my god!
wow,
Like
word.
imagine being a mod and now being a very profitable esport. I'm saying very. I feel like very profitable feels too little in terms of like scale. But yeah. Um. So yeah, that's where you got your first shoutcasting gig. Well, I would like to ask, how did your very first gig go?
Um, First gig. Yeah, when I was in the analyst desk, I just treated it as a normal job. It's like, all right, this is how they played, and it's pretty blah blah blah, doing the usual analyst stuff. And I never really talked during the matches because I'm only really talking about the game after the game or before the game.
Mhm.
But when I really just started shoutcasting, it was second nature for me. Like
Oh,
just
cool.
snapped on. This is how I'll call the shots. This is how I'd make the calls, and then it just clicked from there. I remember like the CS:GO community in the Philippines saying that kind of sound like with when I'm with Asarai, we sound like the Philippine Anders and Semler basically. Even though I patterned my shoutcasting style to Sadokist, and it's the love that I got from the CS:GO community that really wanted me to push with my shoutcasting more. Like every time I see a crazy play, no matter how small the tournament is, if it's a crazy play, I will pop off. I will hype up the player because that player deserves that hype because he made that impossible 1v4 clutch with a fucking USP.
Yeah, well, that's always insane.
Yeah.
Imagining, I was thinking, wait, what's the USB? Oh, wait,
It's a ghost, basically.
yeah, it's like if you do that in a non-pistol round, especially like you're out of ammo and stuff. Oh yeah, that's it. That's really insane. Now, okay, now for our next question. Now, right now, what are the games that you're covering? I know you're covering Valorant, or are you focused on covering VCTs here?
Um I've really loved I really love the FPS genre. So as much as possible, I really want to just keep shoutcasting any first person shooter out there. Even more so on Valorant. Like I'd jump on the opportunity to cast a Valorant cast, no matter how big, how small, I'll jump on the wagon. But I also am covering Mobile Legends. I'm not part of the MPL lineup for this season. I cover Mobile Legends. I do other games. Do other game titles. Like sometimes I do StarCraft, but that sometimes was the last time I casted StarCraft was in the Southeast Asian Games. And I do battle royales too from time to time. Um PUBG mobile is a big thing, apparently still a big
Yeah.
thing. So, I gotta cover that because as far as I'm concerned, this is what I'm doing is still work. So I'll get whatever gig I can. But I won't be getting gigs that I don't know the game too, because you gotta give respect. You gotta give respect to the game title that you're casting, right? You have to give the respect to the audience whenever you're delivering your calls. You need to know what's happening. So as much as possible, I just stick to the games that I know, and then
Mhm.
if I'm gonna cast a game that I don't know, I'm not gonna cast it like, oh, it's gonna be in a week. It has to be a month or two just for me to study the game.
Okay. So yeah, okay. Now, well, I was supposed to ask like, if playing the game helps you understand it better when shoutcasting. I guess you answered the question right there that it
Oh,
does because, of course, like I think being a casual observer is of course way different than having to call the game in progress. So yeah, I think months of fun playing the game or like a few weeks just getting familiar with the game is really important. Now, what were the challenges of starting out in shoutcasting, and what are the challenges now?
oh wow, challenges. Oh, that's a curveball there. Well, one of the challenges of shoutcasting is really just trying to keep up with the meta, trying to keep up with the team's history, because that gives a lot of flavor to the broadcast. Yeah, I could
Mhm.
cast the game, I could call it right then and there, like it's Brendan Paper X, blah 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 blah. But it doesn't make sense if you don't pull out the if you don't pull up the history of the team, like Brendan Paper X, they fought each other in other international tournaments. They played against in Battle to Asia. They played in other Valorant competitions. If you don't paint that picture of how long this rivalry is, it's not going to make as much sense to the viewer. So really, the research part is a crucial part of shoutcasting. Even if you're casting a small tournament where it's just like a company tournament, a company Mobile Legends tournament, let's say, you're still going to have to research not just who they are, but even if you have nothing, look for, oh, they've been, so this is the brackets. How well did they go through this entire bracket? Or were they good in the earlier part? Were they struggling? How did they close out the games and stuff like that? History is a wonderful thing. It's one of the challenges there, especially if you cannot have any backgrounds. And if you won't be able to get the source material that you need to go ahead and do the research. One of the
Mhm.
other things is trying to keep your voice okay. Like it took me a while. I was always shoutcasting at the top of my lungs. I was screaming. That's how explosive I am as a shoutcaster. And I've never had the problem of really running out of voice, but the risk is still there. Like every after gig, every after cast, every after series, I'd smoke a cig, drink Red Bull, drink cold water. It's fine, but it still taxes me. And at the end of the day, I'd still experience that time where I'm starting to feel my throat hurt and I hear my voice crack. That's a struggle for me for shoutcasting. And I guess for a bunch of other shoutcasters that have yet to master modulating their voices. Speaking of another thing, getting the broadcast voice ready, because some people they just talk the way they talk, which is
Mhm.
genuine. But there is like a certain flavor of a broadcast voice that that um you know that really exudes well to your audience. Like if you have a good broadcast voice, like it's broadcast ready, people are gonna snap at attention and be like, "Oh, this guy sounds good," and then this guy knows what he's talking about. See,
Mhm.
it just goes hand in hand and stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess those are the real challenges for shoutcasting for me, like the research, my taking care of my voice, the modulating, and everything else. That's basically it. Of course, the
Well,
struggle is
to,
different for other shoutcasters, but
yeah. Well, to be fair, yeah, me and Steven have been doing a podcast for a while, and yeah, maintaining our voices is pretty important. The Steven, I know
Very
we
true. Very true.
we like I don't know. At most we just drink lukewarm water and just be okay. Hope that it relaxes our throats after, like,
Wear jackets in cold rooms always kasi sobrang lamig talaga at times.
yeah.
Kasi dati
uh,
we used to record in the LaSalle library.
Yeah,
Eh,
we used to record
mm,
in really cold spots.
yeah.
But yeah, it's really insane. But yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah, maintaining your voice is really important. And God, I don't want to experience something like in the middle of an episode where I just feel like my voice will, dissipate. No, that's hello everyone.
that's
Joking.
that almost happened during the VCT too, because we were casting the entire. Um that was the day before this. That was the third to the last day before, second to the last day before the end of the VCT Southeast Asia. I had my vaccines shot on the same
Mhm.
day as I had my cast, so I was like, I had the first series. Bren pushed it to overtime. It was a long ass game. All right, I have to run. I have to run. I have to go to San Juan to get my vaccine. Then drive back, go back to the last series, and the last series took forever to end. And I was like, I was already struggling. I was experiencing some side effects. My voice was already there. Like people noticed that I'm already dying in cast. Like my voice wasn't there, and that's tough.
Yeah, that oh yeah, that's a different layer to it. Like, yeah, the side effects just kicking in while kicking in midstream is that it feels like a different ball game. Now, our next question, like to talk about what were your favorite moments or calls as a caster?
Ah, as for calls, I don't really have any favorite calls off the top of my head, but every time that a team would be able to secure a championship, if it's an underdog specifically, those were the best moments because I know for a fact that I will pop off. They're the underdogs. They beat the champions and stuff. Those were my best calls. Execration's run in the MPL last season, where they beat Aura to go into the grand finals, their first ever grand finals in 7 seasons.
Mhm.
I screamed the top of my lungs, like I called Philippines. Do you believe Execration? They are going to their first finals. That's one of them. And then the most memorable one I would say is when the Philippine ML team won the gold medal in the Southeast Asian Games. And the Philippines, they will win their first gold medal in the Southeast Asian Games, and then bam, the pure silence. Let it simmer. The impact of history was there. Favorite moments was I'd say ROG Masters 2017 Asia Pacific Finals. I would consider that as my first real big international gig because
Mhm.
that was the first time. Like honestly, that was the first time we were treated with royalty. Um, we were checked in at Nobu Hotel in City of Dreams for like 5-6 days. I'm like,
Oh.
yo, I got this big ass room for myself. We got Kings the breakfast of champions every morning. We get picked up in the hotel going to the venue. We got shitloads of food, water, everything that I could ever ask for. Even no, not really cigarettes. Cigarettes still, came from my pocket, but this it's still there. And I met a bunch of the people that I used to watch in streams. Like I met Elfish Guy, I met Karath, I met Ian Sniper Turner, the guy that forced Fnatic into overtime
Oh
in
wow.
2014 when he was still playing with Grounds. And then it was just it was just a big it was just a big moment to me that I will always come back to because that also humbled me because I thought I was hot shit. I'd say that I thought I was hot shit in CS in casting FPS, but when I was with them, it was a completely different playing field. This is how it should
Mhm.
be. This is how the broadcast should be. And then from then on, I just tried to put my best foot forward there. And that's really the moment that I've had backstage with the Australian casters. Man, that was crazy because I think that was DK's birthday as well, Danny Kim. Um,
Mhm.
so after day 2, we went immediately to Alpha Mart, got like a case of Red Horse tequila, went back to the hotel, had problems with security because we can't really put you know bring the alcohol in because oh no, you're only allowed to have like 2 per person. Oh, we're 7 people here. This is the case, so we're good. We just put it in a box. We're sleeping in separate rooms, so we're kind of good. And then we move forward. We drank until 3-4 a.m. and then we had breakfast at 7 a.m. and our call time was 9 a.m. So we really didn't have any time to rest. And the stories that they share, like snipers snipers experience in a major. His I'm asking like, how's NIP backstage? How's Ninjas in Pajamas? What about Olaf? How are they? Well, they give me the insights I really can't talk about.
Mhm.
But they're it's just very insightful because these are I finally kind of sort of get an inside look to how the idols that I watch on stream work, how the people are behind the competition. Man, that was just very. That's literally my best casting
Mhm.
moment. I'd go back to that anytime, even if I'm old. I will always remember that until I cast Berlin or any other major out there. Riot, if you're listening, I'm here. I'm in the Filipinos thing, but I'm here. But yeah, that's really the best memory I've ever had. That entire week of competitive CS:GO, the best I've ever had. And that was also, I think, the last time I've ever really casted CS:GO live in
Mm.
front of a
Ooh,
crowd.
interesting.
So
Okay.
Just wanted to say hi to some people on Facebook.
Yeah, go.
Uh, Axis de la Cruz Galleta says, shout out Nomad. And Kyber says, hi, Dad.
oh, these are the guys I grind with when I'm playing Valorant.
Nice,
Shout out to you
nice.
guys.
Awesome, awesome. From competitive grind to podcasts here. Anyway, before we move on to to the second half of the questions, the episode, Steven has something to say from a message from our partners here in with Shopee.
Okay, so, well, kailan ba? Monday, or yeah, Monday is August 30, and for most people, well, it's a holiday. So why not spend that holiday using your payday salary on
Well,
discounts, cashbacks, vouchers, maybe a 1 peso Food Panda voucher. Who knows? There's so many vouchers out there in Shopee. There's just so many that you can use. Maybe you want to buy a new keyboard, a nice mechanical keyboard from Logitech or something, or maybe there's a what other brands are there, Jude?
well, there
There's
Ducking.
a
anything
lot of
actually.
brands. Like you can find everything at Shopee. So many things, from mechanical keyboards to nice mice. There's just so many. You can get any RGB keyboard or any other device that you need for your streams. Get it on Shopee's payday sale this coming August 30, and get discounts, cashbacks, and more. So you could use our link, tinyurl.com/ShopeeTGJ, and you can help keep the podcast running. That is it for Shopee.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, now we go to our second round of questions, and this is more of VCT stuff. Now, I know. I think we caught up like pre-episode that we're. I think even me, even you, and like we're still like catching on what's happening in Berlin and like all the teams there. But yeah, VCT Masters Berlin. I think yeah, this is like Valorant's second ever LAN, and this is a world level LAN.
Yeah, it's the first LAN we've had for a while in any esports out there. I mean, aside from some of the, an LCK, an LCS, an LPL, like they're already like, playing. But big tournament for Valorant. LAN is a completely different playing field. We've already seen the difference the teams are
Mhm.
playing in when they're on LAN. Iceland was fun to watch. It's fun to watch Dapper say that teabagging is smoother on land. It's more consistent. You get more immersed, and we might
That
see
sounds
more
so
of that.
wrong.
We're gonna get more of that in Berlin, and I'm looking forward to it. This is also Brent's first foray into an international competition on
Ooh.
land in a major in a long time. To paint the picture here, real quick, the last time Jesse Vash was ever in Berlin, in Germany for that matter, was in 2015 for the Frankfurt Major. And
Ooh,
after 5 years, he's back here in another major in Germany.
Wow.
Still competing. Dub Seven Dispenser. I've known them for the longest time. They've been playing together. They are the inseparable duo playing Counter Strike, and now they're the inseparable duo playing Valorant, and they finally made it work. They're finally here in their major competition. No matter how hard they tried to qualify for IEM when they were still playing in CS:GO, or for any other major CS:GO tournaments out there, this is finally their moment. We're not also discounting the fact that Wits, Borkum, Gibbo, everybody on the Brent side of things are really gunning it out, because this is their dream and they're finally here. But of
Mhm.
course, for the most part, all of the people here in Masters Berlin, we've got a lot of fresh faces here, for that matter, and we've also have a bunch of first strike champions when when that first came out, finally competing in Masters. Like during Iceland, there weren't any first strike champions. Like we didn't see Vision
Oh
Strike
yeah.
there. We didn't see Bren compete there. It was all new faces. And then here,
Mhm.
the familiar face of the first real major worldwide tournament is finally here. We're seeing Bren. We're seeing Vision Strikers. We're seeing a lot of storylines unfolding here, for that matter. And really, the storyline is so rich in this esport, man. It's so rich in Valorant, and I'm looking forward to be. I'm thankful that I am here at this point in time when it happened.
Well, to be fair, like Valorant, playing Valorant is like there's always a story every round. Every
Mm,
round, every
true.
kill, every like little action you do. So yeah, I understand how intense this one. Now, let's see. So I think our first question about Valorant esports is like why is Valorant? Why do you think Valorant is a well liked game and esport here in the Philippines? Is it because like we have like a rooted we have our CS:GO root we have our CS roots before, or is it something else? You know, I mean because I think when I see esports here before or initially, like I usually see more MOBAs than FPS back
Mm,
then.
true.
So
I'd say it's a free to play aspect of Valorant
okay.
when we caught it. Um, because I'd say FPS really is struggling here in the Philippines specifically,
Mhm.
because we are such a MOBA centric country. We all grew up playing Dota. Yeah, Counter Strike was also a thing that we used to play, but there are only really a handful of people that really play Counter Strike competitively. Yung
Mhm.
mga dayo-dayo sa mga home shop dyan dati.
Oh God.
That was. There's only a handful of people that actually do that. And then when esports started to get a foothold here, it was only really Dota. Sure, there were League of Legends here. Sure, there were a bunch of Crossfire, Advanced Special Force. Oh man, those were old games, and Counter Strike even. Um, it really wasn't as big. And the more that Valorant showed respect to how CS:GO was, the more it felt at home for a bunch of the CS:GO players, for a bunch of the Special Force and Crossfire players that also played those games, their respective game titles to a T. Like they have respect for the game. It 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 helped make it boom, and because of its free to play aspect as well. And
Mhm.
with the change that it has, where it looks so welcoming to a lot of people. Like it's not like
Mhm.
I'm a Navy SEAL, I'm a Delta Force operator in this mission that I have to eliminate the terrorists. No, it's agents with various backgrounds with specific skills and their specific voice line that adds quirk to their character, adds a little bit more character to the already deep gameplay that you have. It it appeals to a lot of people, and aside from the fact that it's a Riot IP, and Riot, we've seen how Riot takes care of its IP. It just gave people, a welcome. It welcomed a lot of people with open arms going into Valorant. That's why you'd see kids play. I mean, yeah, we'd see kids play games regardless, but you'd see people who haven't played any FPS game at all play Valorant. You see League of Legends player play Valorant. You'd see Dota players play Valorant. You'd see
Mhm.
Mobile Legends pros. They play Valorant on the side. I've even seen Dysenia playing for Aether. He was the champion during season 2 under Signal Ultra, and then he transitioned to Valorant when he came out. That's how how welcoming Valorant is. That gave it its boom, and I feel like the way that the game has been pumping out, the way that people have been playing the game, just giving it so much love with a little bit of salt and toxicity on the side. It's still a game that a lot of people would really play. It's so welcoming. It's so open for everybody to play.
Well, I don't think a Riot game would be complete without the salt. So that's one thing.
That's
But
true.
yeah, Let's go. Oh, now with Bren Esports representing the country, the Philippines in Valorant in VCT Masters Berlin. How impactful would this be for the local competitive scene? Because I was watching VCT, the PPGL stream. So in the Philippines, the Philippine qualifiers before Southeast Asia, and I saw like how crazy, how crazy competitive the entire thing was. Like, wow, you just well, there's like a load of talent here, and yeah, how impactful is having a PH representative in this world tournament.
First off, Pinoy pride. Secondly, we're finally putting Bren. We're finally putting the flavor of the Philippines out there in the world. And if Bren makes it out of their group, makes it into
Mhm.
playoffs, that's going to usher in a new set of players that are going to play Valorant. Like, no cap, they're if they go if they go into playoffs, they would. A lot of the Mobile Legends players would see, oh, Bren is in an international championship. What's this about? And then they get hooked, and then they try to play Valorant. Even more so if Valorant Mobile comes out.
Oh God.
A lot of people will be playing that on their phones. They can play it on the go. They play it on during their online classes. I don't know, but a lot of people would start playing it. A lot of people would dream to be part of a competition as big as this. We've seen the growth of a bunch of the other competition that we've had in VCT. Galaxy Racer was able to qualify. Always Game was able to
Mhm.
qualify. It wasn't the best run that they've ever had during the Southeast Asian playoffs, but they still put up a good fight, which means
Mhm.
that we can fight in Southeast Asia and in any esports title, for that matter. The main problem that we as a country ever had is pushing forward outside of group stages.
Mhm.
Because most of the time, it's a disappointing run. Aside from that historical TNC run against OG,
Oh
aside
yeah.
from that, aside from that Mineski and execration qualifying for TI, um, it's rare for us to see Filipinos make it into the international stage, except for like Xmithy, who's pretty good in League of Legends, I say, and then Pinoy from G2. Like his real name is Pinoy. His IGN is Pinoy, and he played in LEC. Those are the only times we get to really see Filipinos in the
Mhm.
international stage. And that's with Valorant, with Bren representing. If they beat Sentinels and make it into groups, that's yeah, icing on the
Yeah.
cake. More Valorant players, more competition, more people wanting to compete in big tournaments.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a while to see until Filipinos in the esports world stage is like doesn't happen that often. So like every time we see someone make it out of like continental qualifiers, regional qualifiers,
Regional
like whoa,
qualifiers.
okay. I remember like I think I was looking at I was watching Bren qualify. I know I think I saw Bren qualify. I was watching like their final. Like okay, they've qualified now. It's the finals, and it's just play for the position for the seeding, but in the end, I wanted them to win. I want to go to Berlin as the winner. That's really awesome. But yeah, I would understand. Yeah, this would inspire a lot of people, especially I think Valorant has been a huge enough game to make people leave their respective esports in that
Mm,
matter, because like I've seen various CS:GO names like 100 Teams has like Hiko,
yeah. Yeah,
who's been
Hiko.
a long time NA player, and then I think Team Liquid. I think Scream from Team Liquid, who's
Scream.
in
Yeah.
EMEA. So like, yeah, it's big enough for people who have been a veteran of their respective esports just to leave, just to leave and move switch over to Valorant. And yeah, worth noting like even Sentinels has like an Apex Legends player, a CS:GO player, and before one time Overwatch player. Like, oh wait,
Yeah,
it's like
Sentinels, man.
everyone's there. I mean, Jesse Vash is a Dota pro, was a Dota pro before,
Not
so
just Overwatch Pro, Dota
Overwatch
Pro.
pro,
He
yeah.
he played League of Legends competitively once.
Oh
He
god.
he, he played Counter Strike competitively once. Every game Jesse Vash plays, it's like I'm gonna be pro. He was top
Now he
113 if I'm not mistaken when he was playing Overwatch.
he's like in a handful of esports, and you rarely hear that from any other esports athlete because not everyone can not everyone can not everyone can handle even two esports because you can be really good in one, but you can be only really competitive in another. So like that's really cool. And yeah, apart from Bren Esports, what are other teams in Asia that we should look out for? I mean, I know Paper Rex is pretty good because they got the number on Bren early on in the upper bracket.
They did, and it's interesting to see them go up against Vision Strikers because Vision Strikers were notorious for like getting 100+ games. If I don't remember the numbers, but it's 100+ victories for 100
Oh,
plus maps for Vision Strikers with no losses. They're going up against them in Group A, and that's like something I want to see Paper X go up against. I want to see Forsaken try to frag out Vision Strikers. If he can, get King, get Buzz, maybe that's going to be big. But yeah, it's Paper X you have to look out for because even if they're, even if Brendan Paper X are in a competition, this is still putting Southeast Asia on the map. Koreans are always known for being good in any game. Valorant is not an exception. We just didn't see Vision Strikers during Iceland, but it's still a threat. Vision Strikers are really a threat to Sentinels at this point because I honestly feel like Sentinels may just be able to get their second back to back with just how good they are. And
mhm.
yeah, they are. Those are the other Asians that we really have to look out for. Vision Strikers and Paper X. Aside from that, it's just the other teams just being who they are. We all know who G2 is, Sentinels, 100 Thieves,
Mhm.
Envy. It's still no, it's still there. You know who these guys are. These are household names. You got to look out for the people that you haven't seen before in
Yeah.
a competition. You know.
I think I remember I think I remember people talking about like X10 on Iceland like when they were like they put up a nice little fight in back in Iceland. So like yeah, more power to the Asian region. We have like six teams, six Asian teams here.
Yeah.
Two from Japan, two from Korea, and two from Southeast Asia. And yeah, let's go. And that's more than any other continent.
More we Asians are dominating the world, guys. Asians are dominating the
Yeah,
world. Asian
Asian
power right there.
takeover. Let's go.
But
So yeah. Oh,
yeah, it's my mic. All right, there you
okay.
go.
Now, you said Vision Strikers could give Sentinels a run for money. Now, what other teams could give Sentinels its run of money from other areas? But yeah, that's what.
Mm, no other team, top of my head. No other team on top of my head. I'd say a couple of the Gambit, I guess, but I'm not confident with Gambit being able to go up against
Mhm.
Sentinels. CIS is also a region that you have to. It's still a crazy region in
I
any sports
mean,
title.
they're cracked on any FPS. That's
They
what I
crack
can
on
say.
any FPS, so I wouldn't sleep on Gambit. Crazy Raccoon, I'm pretty sure they'd lose the game to Gambit, but hmm, I think the closest for a Western team, I'd say it's 100 Thieves or Envy because they're already experienced playing against Sentinels. Like if
Mhm.
we're gonna put it in a retrospect where oh wait they've already played together. There are really no chances for them to scrim against the other regions. Maybe they'd be able to finally figure out how to stop Sentinels on their tracks. It's quite a possibility that 100 Thieves and Envy would take it out. I mean, all things considered, VCTNA was the Sentinel show. It was it
Well,
was a Sentinel show, and then it's a close fight between 100 Thieves and Envy, and then Sentinels just coming out on top. And I don't know, they'd meet each other again in the finals, I feel,
mhm.
but
Well,
they still have to go through Vision Strikers, obviously.
yeah. Well, the Sentinels are really inevitable at this point because they've looked untouchable. I mean, they're like I think they've never dropped a map in Iceland, which is crazy to imagine because you rarely see esports teams in general drop games. Not drop games because it's inevitable. It's a given. It's not a given. Like it would happen. You'll always have this one team that would try and give you a little shake up, but Sentinels wasn't able to face that much. Um, I mean, sure there were a few close calls, but not dropping an entire round is
Yeah.
huge. So yeah, I would say yeah. Even I think this is a very it's very difficult for the other teams. I think it's just a matter of trying to dethrone who would dethrone Sentinels. Like catch them off in a bad day, but I don't think I don't
Um,
think that's it. I don't think even Sentinels on like an off day would be like would be an easy match or you
True.
know
You man, yeah, this is the era of Sentinels, at least. Like this is akin to Astralis dominating
oh yeah.
CS:GO for the most part of its history. This is akin to NIP dominating the earlier part of CS:GO history. This is Sentinels doing the NIP run, basically,
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, first big dominant team. I mean, most esports need that. Like like it's nice to start off with a little big unstoppable team, and then find someone who can dethrone.
Yeah. And the big question is, will they be able to dethrone the king? Will there be usurpers to the throne?
hmm
I don't think so. In all honesty, I don't think anybody's going to be able to dethrone Sentinels from their throne. They are going to stick to their throne. They're going to make it to champions. They're going to take champions.
Well, I think they might be part of champions because if we're talking about like VCT points,
They're already in.
they're like they're a distant first.
Like
that's really
nobody even comes close to Sentinel. No
yeah.
no second best. No close seconds out there.
Yeah, it's like a tough silver right there
It is.
for anyone. But yeah, when I know like different regions have different metas in a way, different like different agent compositions. Now, the question here is when it comes to current competitive meta, what agent compositions would be most likely see? I mean, what agents would be heavily used? Now, anyone's that are not named yet, of course. And how is the current gun meta? Like, I know the usual Phantom, Vandal,
Yeah.
Op trio is like of course the must buy, but of course there are other guns below the price bracket that have been making rounds in
Hmm.
competitive recently. So your thoughts on that?
Well, man, I remember the big shift, even playing competitive, where second round is we lost the first round. All right, let's save this round and buy the third round. No, people actually try to force buy in the second round and win the bonus.
Yeah. hmm
That's the thing. Specters are, in my opinion, specters are fucking useless. But in the hands of the right players, specters are good weapons. Uh we've seen a couple of people just stick with specters, even if they can buy vandals. They would still stick with specters. Zombs is one of them. He'd stick to specters. I'll buy you a vandal, drop me a specter, and still frag with a specter. That's that. I want to see the Bucky being buffed again because I miss the close angle Bucky shots that can the right clicks that kill people from half a mile away. Uh, there's that. And then but yeah, sorry, I'm just straying away. But it's for the most part, there are a lot of all the weapons in Valorant are viable, ex- except for the Stinger and the Bulldog. Not a lot of people actually pick up the Bulldog. The Bulldog got picked up a couple of patches back where it's a lot more viable than the Spectre because it's basically a Vandal with just
Mhm.
lesser bullets, slower fire rate. But then when you aim down sights, it's a fucking laser gun with a 3-round burst. That's something that a lot of people pick up. But in terms of agent composition, we won't see any changes there, in my opinion. Like we'd still see the Killjoys and the Cyphers. We'd still see the Omens, the Jets and the Razes, and the Sovas. I'd say some teams would pocket pick the Yoru. I don't think Yoru's very viable now. Breach was slowly being picked up in Southeast Asia. He adds a lot to the team composition. Maybe some teams would pocket pick that, but aside from that, we're still gonna be seeing Killjoy Ciphers, we're seeing Omens and Brimstones. We're gonna see the staple Jets and Raises. Those are the agent pools that I'm seeing here. In terms of maps, there's really nothing much. There's really nothing much that we can expect there. All maps will be played out. A lot. Southeast Asia hates Breeze and Icebox to a T. So we won't see that from our Southeast Asian representatives, but from the other region, we'll see a lot of ascent. We'll see a lot of split, a lot of bind.
Mhm.
That's where I'm getting at. But when we go into a best of 5 in the finals, that's when we'll be forced to see bind and icebox. Yeah, there are teams that really um like icebox. If I'm not mistaken, Crazy Raccoon from Japan, I think they like icebox. If I can remember correctly, Icebox is one of their most successful maps. I think
Mhm.
they're high up in the 70% win rate on Icebox. Don't quote me on the numbers, but they're pretty high on Icebox. So there are
Mhm.
teams that really enjoy Icebox, not the Southeast Asian teams though. That's the thing. So
Well, yeah. To be fair, I don't really see that much icebox in Southeast Asia qualifiers, but yeah. Although I did see more breeze, so that's like I mean,
mm,
it's a map that has gained a bit of notoriety. I mean, it's a new map, of course. It's a new map there with a huge ass middle area. So
and Breeze is a map pool for regions that really know how to aim. I mean,
yeah,
it's granted these guys can one tap you from half the world away. But if you're going up against a team that really knows how to aim at that small pixel spot, they tap you right away. That's where NA and EU would shine, definitely, because they are
yeah.
notorious aimers. They like their aim duels. They like their 50-50s. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up Breeze more often than some of the other regions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for agents, I think also Sky
Oh
has been
yeah,
like main meta. So like
yeah, yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that's I mean, yeah, very effective with healing and a lot of recon, a lot of intel
Yeah.
gathering. So really
Uh,
awesome.
adds a lot to the team. You get info with the Trailblazer. You also get info with the Guiding Light. You can
Hmm.
heal people with you can heal your team. You can't heal yourself, which sucks.
Yeah,
If
it's
if,
the
if,
worst.
if Sky can heal herself, S tier agent right then and there. If Sky can heal
Um,
herself, S tier agent. But yeah,
a must pick.
a must pick. Yeah, she really add a lot to the team's composition, especially if you're an aggressive team. Having that aggressive flash that gets info as well, having those seekers that can add a little bit more distraction and info when you go into 50-50 duels. Um, yeah, that's why Wits is such a god in the sky.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of agents, I don't think I've seen a KO in competitive, or I might have, but as a pocket pick in certain maps. But yeah, how do you think would he integrate into the meta, or is KO? Uh, would KO be viable for competitive, or does he need something else, something more?
It's tough because I never really got to play KO as much, but understanding his kit is you're basically playing CS:GO with KO. You're playing CS:GO against a team against another team that's playing Valorant. So yeah, you get your pop flashes, you get your info with your dagger, your EMP dagger, and then you get your nades. Sure, you get those, but what else can you add to the mix? Right? You can get information with your dagger, but then how would you execute? You're using your pop flashes to come in, but not a lot of people really. A lot of people would prefer breach flashes over KO's flashes because
Mhm.
it's a lot more, direct. I'm breaching through this wall. You won't be blind to just dive in. Sky is also a better flasher than KO. The nade is pretty predictable because you know that it's just going to drop down. It's an area denial, sure, but you can just wrap around it. It's
Mhm.
he's definitely a pocket pit, especially if the team knows that they're up against teams that rely heavily on utilities. He's definitely a pocket pick. But with the game just really being centric on people being using their utilities wisely, I don't think KO would fit the glove in my
Mhm.
in my opinion at least.
Okay, now that's awesome. Well, I guess I guess that's it for the VCT questions. But yeah, I would like to see. I'm looking forward to seeing Bren, to seeing Bren just just frag out in Berlin. I mean, they're like they're just yeah. It's like I mean, for us Filipinos who enjoy playing video, that feels like a dream.
Yeah,
Feels like a dream. Like being at a world stage. So it's been a while. I mean, I know that the Philippines has like a couple of TI appearances regularly, but yeah, yeah, seeing again, of course, this is huge, especially for an FPS game. I mean, I love me some FPS, and finally, like I can see a Philippine team on an FPS game, and that's really impressive. So yeah, I mean their group is gonna be a little tough out, but yeah, but yeah, that's looking forward to just
yeah.
seeing every team actually just seeing Asia just Asian domination, please. Let's
Yeah.
manifest and make it happen.
Asian
um
domination. Yeah, it's
yeah, okay.
mm,
Now before we go to like our last few rounds, a few Facebook comments. So Steven, can you check out the other comments?
All right, let me just check it. Hold on. Also saying hi to Arian1927 on Twitch.
Oh,
a
They
hello,
dropped
regular
by.
viewer. Thank you for
Nice,
watching.
nice. All right. Medyo nag-lag ako sa Facebook. Hold on. There we go. Oh, wow, dumami. Abel says, hi, Nomad. Pogi. Pansinin mo naman ako, Idol Nomad. Sabi ni Luis Vittorio Velayo, Lodi walang galit. Jackie says, their off day is someone breaking Tenzi's mice.
Ah, yeah, tens. Yeah.
yeah,
Ten, sorry. All right.
The
yeah.
only way you can stop Sentinels is probably just by sabotaging Ten's mice. But
Kick their
Or
PCs.
do the screen like this. Put
yeah,
your hand over the screen like this.
yeah, I don't
Oh
distract
yeah.
them somehow.
Distract them
Make
somehow.
some weird noise. But yeah, I mean,
Unplug the computer.
I
Kick
think they
their
can even.
PCs.
I think they can still play. It comes to a point that you feel like they can still play unplugged. But yeah, it's insane. But yeah, cool. Okay, now let's go with a last few questions. So my question here is in your point of view, what is the state of Philippine esports in general? You've been following various esports. You've been following CS:GO, Valorant, and Mobile Legends for years now. And how is how has Philippine esports grown from when you started and from now?
It definitely was a big difference from when I started in 2016 to now. Like it's bigger and better than what it was. But in my hot take, it's really the production aspect is getting better. Like in all
Mm-hmm.
aspects of running a tournament is getting better, but the community, it's mm, the community is at times just very frustrating. I mean, I'm gonna talk about this. The community, for one, in the Mobile Legends community, is not the healthiest community out there. A lot of homophobes will comment down. A lot of people trying to not defend the LGBTQ, the LGBT community. It's it's really frustrating to see that a lot of people still don't. It's fucking 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
people are still homophobes. People are still using bading as a derogatory term, which it's no longer a case. And people are like, "Oh, ikaw ba yung naapektuhan? Ba't ka naapektuhan? Di naman ikaw sinasabihan ah. Guro bading ka rin."
Oh
No,
God,
that's not how it fucking works.
no.
Jesus, it's there are shining lights to the community to understand that we are already in the 21st century where differences should be set aside. That's already there. But there's still a lot of the people in the community that are really just growing up in their toxic masculinity state of mind. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are not safe. I do not sleep since one of the IDNS as a player stepped down from competitive gameplay because of what a professional player in the Philippines did, of what he said on stream. On stream in a country where what he said on stream was not really a good thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
People were defending him like, man, it's you're overreacting. Blah blah blah. No, that's a fucking bigger problem than how it is. We get good tournaments. We got good players, but when the players themselves and the community themselves don't know how to fucking draw the line in what they say, we're not really gonna grow as a community even more than what we currently are. Fucking step, fucking grow up. You know, it really grinds my gears, man. It really fucking grinds my,
Yeah,
and
I mean, I
especially considering the fact that
understand.
especially considering the fact that this is me as a former shoutcaster of the MPL. I love the esports of MPL. I love the storylines. I love how the storylines broke down because I was there season 1 in the back end, season 2 to season 7. I was one of the shoutcasters there. I followed the storylines of most of the teams, of most of the players. I love the esports, but it's just the community that's really tough to handle.
Mm-hmm.
The Mobile Legends community. That's something that we have to work on that's something we have to work on as a community. Just fucking be better, man. Just
Mm-hmm.
be better. It's really not a fucking healthy community.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, I would understand. It's not healthy. I mean, I encounter my share of like toxicity in a lot of other games, and yeah, I think yeah, for Philippine esports to grow, we have to. I think you have to clean that up. I mean, just straighten up our act. I mean, fix it up because I think that's how it would grow. Like more players would be into esports if there was if the community was healthier. I would think so because that would be fun. I mean, that's what esports is. It's fun, competitive. It's like an intense version of facing off against fellow players. There's a trophy at stake. There's prize at stake. There's like a country. There's like you're representing your country in that high stakes. So
National
yeah, I think
pride, man.
I think
National pride.
that would be like yeah, I think that would be like our like one big step towards like making esports bigger because I agree with everything. Like the production of esports right now here is so it's clean. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like
very.
I can't believe again, I think I was like watching like even like a few years back, like I was checking out I was looking at random channels. let's take a look. Esports. Wait, wait. There's an entire stage. It's huge. Okay, wait. Okay, that looks cool. Now that's like I said. Oh, that's like that's a long way from wherever it started. So that's really awesome. And yeah, I hope Philippine esports just keeps growing and being better at everything.
True.
Because we need the growth is essential. The growth is really good because we need the you can eat it, and we're really good at video games. Filipinos are good at video games.
Yeah,
Bear show that in the world stage.
we're so good that we find a way to skip classes to play video games. No, don't do that, kids. Don't do that.
Yeah, imagine like you can get hard peaked by someone during someone's online class. That's
True.
Yeah. Imagine getting off peak by someone who's like listening to some lecture in between. I think that has probably happened to a lot of people, especially with online classes. But now, next question is, what are your dream esports events that you would like to call?
Ah.
I mean, some of them may not be happening yet, but what are uh, dream esports events or maybe destinations? Because I know there are lots of cities that regularly host tournaments.
Mm, of course, any masters or any champions in VCT, and a CS:GO major, even a CS:GO minor. If I could cast a CS:GO minor, that would be fun. In terms of destination, it has to be in the cathedral of CS:GO itself, ESL1 Cologne. That's where it should be. If I cast there, I will end my career. I will stop at that because that's already my highlight. If I get to the cathedral of Counter Strike, I'm done. That's that. I've ended my shout. I'm ending my shoutcasting career at that. At a high note.
I imagine a cathedral of CS:GO being filled with rows and rows of guns and various special forces outfits next to it. So that's pretty intense. But yeah, Cologne is like the I would say Cologne is like a mecca of Counter Strike esports. So that's
True.
really fun. I mean, Germany in general is a host to a lot of esports tournaments, and yeah,
Yeah.
but what a great way to play LAN. One of the
Yeah.
most
I mean,
scenic.
imagine just seeing your team's banner in on the roads in Berlin. That was already the case in CS:GO. Like the team's banners were on the highway, like some international Olympic tournament, but then it's esports, and it was like, oh, this feels different. This hits different, and that has always been a dream for me. Like even if I'm not gonna be shoutcasting it, I just want to go to Cologne to watch ESL 1, just watch CS:GO unfold. Even if NIP is not there, even if the old NIP roster is not even playing anymore, I'd still watch that. I'd still watch
Mhm.
some quality CS action in ESL 1 Cologne. If ever that happens again, we
Awesome.
gotta get out of the quarantine of the entire pandemic first. But
Yeah,
one day we'll get there.
step by step. And now, lastly, advice for aspiring shoutcasters. Like, how would you, what's like a first piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to go into shoutcasting?
Ah, mm, never thought about that. All right. So for the shoutcasters out there who wants to dive into shoutcasting, don't be afraid to just shoutcast. Find a clip or record your own clip. If you have a replay function in the game that you're playing, record that, and then just shoutcast over it. Listen to yourself. Have your
Mhm.
friends give you feedback. Like feedback, all right? Not na hindi, oh, ang galing mo nga mag-cast nito. Hindi yung sinasabi lang. Actual constructive feedback. Like what could have you done better in the shoutcast? And then work on those. And then as soon as you really start getting your name out there, I wouldn't say just I wouldn't actually advise just grabbing whatever gig that you can get.
Mhm.
No, don't get that. Um, Like by that I mean like you're casting Mobile Legends, and then you're casting Valorant, then you're casting League, then you're casting Dota, then you're casting CS:GO. No, find a game that you're going to be specialized in first, because that's where the most part of your journey would start. Like if you really want to cast Mobile Legends and you want to be one of these days going to be part of the MPL, you have to focus on Mobile Legends. Don't focus on Valorant. If you want to be part of the VCT lineup, shoutcasting lineup, focus on Valorant. And then as soon as you're comfortable, and then as soon as you get your name out there, just keep grinding. The grinding never stops.
Mhm.
We've never stopped grinding. I'm not a fan of hustle culture where no, yeah, I'm working until I pass out and die, and then just get a lot of money. No, I'm not a fan of that. Give yourself some time to breathe too. Like if you stream every day, give yourself a break. If you cast every day, give yourself a break, because it's not going to be good for you. Because the moment that the fire in you dies, that's when you really will lose sight of the vision. I've personally felt this before myself. Like I was
Mhm.
treating this job. This I'd consider this as my day job. I'm treating this job as a job, and then it hit me hard where I could notice where my shoutcast wasn't really up to par. It wasn't really the best I could ever deliver. When I realized that, I was like, yeah, I won't be getting any gigs myself if I keep performing this way. So I have to be better. I have to rekindle that love I have for this esports title, or this job that I have, and that's a constant for me. So for you
Mhm.
guys, just always look for the reason why you're doing this. It's going to be tough. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the first time you're gonna start off casting this, you're not gonna land the big events. You're gonna land the small events that pay small, and the money shouldn't be a big factor for you. For the most part, a lot of the new shoutcasters I know, they have day jobs as well. Some of them are students, or they're still being supported by their families. Do it as a pastime, but focus on yourself first. And if you're gonna shoutcast, don't fucking expect for you to get paid 5 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand in your first cast. No, you're gonna get paid 1,000, 2,000. It's bad.
Mhm.
I know. We try our best to like, standardize everything at the very least. Like you just know your worth, but we're still getting there as
Mhm.
in this industry. We're still gonna get the worth that legitimately going to be paid at. Speaking of which, know your worth as well. It's gonna be tough to know your worth, especially if you're just gonna be pricing it yourself. Like you can't approach an organized you can't tell an organizer that, hey, yeah, so I know you're looking for a shoutcaster. I charge 8,000 for an entire day. What's your what's the data that's backing that up? What's your experience,
Mm, I
right?
see. I see.
Like you don't just brand that out. You have to justify it to the client that, hey, I have this background. I've been casting for this long. These are some of the references I have. This is what I charge, but we can talk about it. Be humble. Sit down and be humble about yourself. Don't. It's okay to blow yourself up. It's okay to make yourself feel good about shoutcasting, but you gotta sit down a bit, lie low, know your worth, grind, but don't overgrind yourself. Just make sure that the fire in you is still there. That keep that passion for shoutcasting there. I keep saying passion, and passion is already like a buzzword for us, but it's an undeniable fact that that's the reason why I tried to get out of shoutcasting. I'm still here. It's because I love what I'm doing. Those are just a couple of things that aspiring shoutcasters can listen to, can heart. But the most important thing is just start out shoutcasting. You don't. Yes, there are programs out there like the Madrigal Project being run by Leo. There are programs like that can really help you with your start. But for the most part, just like how many hundreds of other shoutcasters in the world do, they just start shoutcasting. They just do it. You record your own gameplay, do it. That's how you start, and then just work from there.
Awesome. Okay. But yeah, um, advice for shoutcasters. Yeah, I think well, for anything, it's a grind. any
Yeah,
goal,
it's always a
any goal is a
grind.
any goal is a huge ass grind that would take a while. But I guess you do it with your heart on your sleeve, and then yeah, and I guess that's it for our questions. That's it for the episode, and before we end, we'd like to say thank you, Gino, for being
Thank you
here.
so much. Thank you so much.
No,
Like
thank you. Thank you for
awesome,
having me here, man.
awesome time talking about shoutcasting and Philippine esports and Valorant. And before we end now, where can we find you? Where can people find you?
Well, I stream constantly on Twitch. So it's at twitch.tv/nomadcasts. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Instagram, it's nomadcasts. Except for Twitter, because there's another nomad that casts as well for Dota. And we're kind of still arguing about, who's going to change who. So I'm at on Twitter. It's GG_nomad, but for the most part,
Mm.
it's Nomad casts. I'm streaming every day on Twitch as much as possible.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm just saying that every time if you're gonna watch me stream, you're not gonna watch the best gameplays out there. You're just gonna watch me tilt and be mad about my games. But that's where you can find me. Facebook, I post highlights, post updates on my. I post updates on if I'm casting a tournament, if I'm guessing in a podcast, like the geeky ones, or if anything else is happening, that's where I post. On Instagram,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just post random. I just post random pictures I find interesting. That's basically it. But yeah, that's basically where you can find me. And yeah, appreciate
Awesome.
appreciate the
Okay.
moment, man.
Okay. Now we go to our little well, looking at some of the comments here before you go. Jackie said, you can't distract sentinels. As we were talking about distracting sentinels a while ago, you can't distract them with a weird noise because they have players like Shazam, who's one of the louder players in competitive virus. So yeah, I guess that's off the table. Now, I don't know how to stop them again. So yeah, Luis Vittorio Velayo says, Nayak ako feels good, man, and my tilt, man.
No,
and
One of my mods
it
said
really
yeah.
that.
warms the heart.
And Patrick Gambito says the precise gameplay is Sir Nomad, so that's
Ah,
cool.
precise gameplays.
Precise. Well, that'll be fun. But now, before we end our episode, you can find the geeky ones on. Can find the geeky ones. You can follow first on at the geeky ones on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You're watching this on twitch.tv/ the geeky ones and
That's
also on
right.
facebook.com. So yeah, at the geeky ones again, and can also check out. My God, this
The gadget
I'm
na si
scrolling
Jude.
through various stuff. So yeah, let's go. Thegeekyones.com. We do various blogs for different things. We do we do reviews. We do anything under the sun, anything related to previous episodes, also various stuff. Of course, we also have a new podcast called Evolving Backwards. Me and Steven are part of it. We're
Yep,
like eight people answering one question in a podcast, and that's it. That's pretty
it's
much it. Except
madness.
Sounds
except
fun.
it's mad. You think answering a question is simple. Well, wait until you see
No.
this. Anyway, episode 2 is now out on Anchor and Spotify. It's all for free, and that's really cool. And now, and I guess that's it. That's it for episode 88.
Yep.
Did I get it right,
88.
Stephen? Are we
I think
88?
we're on 88.
Okay, okay,
We're
okay.
very very close to 100
Just making
episodes.
sure because
Yeah.
we have misnumbered our episodes a couple of times, so that's good. And it's also confusing because we do this week in
3 years
out.
na ba? We've been doing this for three
Yeah, we
years
do
now.
3 years week in week out.
Man.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome that we're also doing this live. So for those who are watching and commenting on Facebook, thank you so much. Also on Twitch, um, and yeah, for those who are listening this on audio version, this will be available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms that we have yet
That's
to
right.
claim. Please, why are they posting without? But yeah, um, awesome. But yeah, this has been episode 88 of the Geeky Ones. I'm Jude, um, Steven, and then Nomad. So thank you so much once again, and
Bye.
bye, farewell, and see you next episode.